What's up YouTube? Welcome back to another Genshin character guide video. As we all know, Kinich has been released in version 5.0 second phase. For that, in this video we will know everything about how to build him, starting from his role in the game, what is his play style, the weapon options we have for him in the game, what artifacts set we should use on him, his talent priorities, constellations, and at last his team comps. So let's get started. At first, what we need to know about him is that he is a skill-based Dendro DPS, who scales off of his attack, and works best in burning and burgeon teams. His skill mainly works by anchoring enemies and swinging around them to deal Dendro damage, and his burst is mainly a nuke which deals Dendro AoE damage to the enemies. Now let's come to what weapon options we have to use on him. As always, his signature weapon Fang of the Mountain King would be his best in slot weapon. This weapon has one of the highest base attack at level 90, which sits at 741. And as secondary stat it gives 11% crit rate. And it gives 10% elemental skill and burst damage bonus at a 1, and it adds an additional 2.5% damage on every refinement. You can also use Beacon of the Red Sea, as it gives 610 base attack and gives a much bigger secondary stat of 33% crit rate. For F2P options, his best in slot would be the Earthshaker. It offers attack as secondary stat unlike the other weapons, but it gives skill damage bonus when a pyro-related reactions get triggered. And now if you come to the matter of artifacts, the best in slot artifact for Kinich would be the Obsidian Codex, because it gives a 15% damage increase when the character is in his Night Soul Blessing at 2-piece set, and increases crit rate by 40% when the character uses 1 Night Soul point in 4-piece set. You can also use Unfinished Reverie, as it gives 18% attack at 2-piece and increases the damage dealt by 50% after living the combat for 3 seconds. For the main stats you want to look for in the artifacts are attack percent in Sands, Dendro damage bonus in Goblet, and crit damage in Circlet. Now for the sub stats, your main priority should be in this order: crit rate, crit damage, attack percent, energy recharge, and elemental mastery. Coming into his constellations, his best constellation would be his C1, in which Kinich gains a 30% movement speed increase for 6 seconds after using his mid-air swing. It also increases his Scale Spiker cannon crit damage by 100%, which is very beneficial for Kinich. His C2 is also pretty good for him, as it decreases enemies' Dendro resistance by 30% for 6 seconds after hitting an enemy with his skill, and increases the Scale Spiker cannon's damage by 100% in its first shot. His C3 is just the level up for his skill. His fourth constellation restores his energy by 5 after he uses his loop shots, and additionally also increases his burst damage by 70%. His fifth constellation being the level up for his burst. And at last in his C6 he deals 700% of his attacks worth of Dendro damage, which bounces of between enemies when he uses his Skull Spiker cannon. And now if we ask what talent level should we level up first for Kinich, then the order would be: first his skill, then his burst, and then if you want you can level up his normal attacks, but his normal attacks are kind of useless for him. So not leveling up the normal attacks would not cause any kind of disadvantage or problem while using him. The reason you need to level up his skill first is because his skill is his main source of damage. His skill mainly consists of 2 parts. One is anchoring around enemies after activating the skill, and pressing the normal attack button to do Dendro damage. And the second part is holding the skill button to aim his cannon and release it to cause a AoE damage to the enemies. His burst comes second because even though it is a good source of damage, it has a relatively high energy cost. So if we use him as a burst-based DPS, his rotations would be very long and the damage would be inconsistent. His charge attack doesn't need leveling up, because it does not fuse with his burst or skill unlike characters like Raiden. And now at last it's time for his team comps. Kinich works best in burning and burgeon teams. Hence his best teammate for burning team would be Xiangling, Tomo, Dehya for pyro application, and Narida and Camellia for Dendro support. And for his burgeon team, the team should consist of Kinich, Xiangling, Dehya or Tomo, and a hydro support like Yelan or Shinkyu can work pretty well. And now let's have some gameplay footage. It can't be called showcase because I don't have him fully built now.
Witness the power of Gua! Teamwork is dreamwork!
I got him cornered!
Nice and spicy! I'm going in! Bow before your king! The dead would blaze in dragonflight!
Target acquired! That was unexpected!
Time to act. Boba, get them! Everybody stand back!
Locked on! Shadow of the past! Mine to command!
Submit your soul in sacrifice!
I got him cornered!
Scared, forever hold your peace!
And that was it for today. Subscribe for more games and guides. And comment about what topic should I make my next video about. Sayonara.